Thank you, Toastmaster for Waz, for the introduction. As I'm going into the second season during the pandemic, the holiday season, I'm trying to think about things that bring me joy and hope. And I'm kind of getting tired, probably like everybody else. And I was able to visit my family last week for Thanksgiving. And like everything else during the pandemic, we had to make adjustments. We limited the number of people we went and visited. We couldn't spend as much time in stores, but it still started feeling like that holiday season again, which is making me happy. And while I was at home, I was thinking about some of the traditions that have changed over the years and the things that we started that aren't pandemic related, as well as I've gotten older, as people have moved away, as people have passed away. And it started making me think of childhood memories as well. And that's what started kind of making me feel like I had that holiday spirit again. And I was trying to remember memories that I did as a child and that required a child's imagination to be able to pull off. And as an adult, they probably don't make sense, but they still bring a smile to my face. And today I would like to inspire you with two examples that I have of childhood memories that bring me happiness. And the first I'll start with is my favorite memory, which is reindeer food. And when my sister and I remembered, we didn't do it every year, it was only when we had remembered, we would get carrots and celery, and we would put them on the plate next to the cookies and the milk for Santa Claus. And of course, when we woke up on Christmas morning, it would be gone, and there'd be like the little carrot leaves there because the reindeer ate them. Sometimes remembered, sometimes we didn't, but we always remembered to put out the magical reindeer flying food. And no matter what the temperature, it could be raining, it could be snowing, it could be windy, we would put on our boots and go outside with my mom and sprinkle this fancy food all over the backyard. My dad probably hated cleaning the gutters out in the springtime because of it. But we had this bag full of like oats and nuts and glitter, and we would put it kind of all over the grass in the backyard, and we made sure that we kind of threw it up on the rooftop too, as far as we could go, so the reindeer would be able to find our house on Christmas Eve. And it was special food because it also helped them fly. So when they came to our house, then they would be able to eat the oats, and they would be able to fly on to somebody else's house and bring them happiness as well. And looking back, I know it's just a bag of oats with some old glitter in it, but as a kid, it made those reindeer really come alive for us. And whenever we kind of snuggled up in Christmas Eve and under our covers, and my sister and I shared a room, we'd whisper at each other. And we would lay there and imagine hearing those little hooves on the roof and imagining the reindeer eating this food we had left for them. And my second memory also involves my sister. And this was Christmas morning, and specifically opening up the presents. And I don't know if my sister and I were strange children or not, but we were very patient. And we would wait for each other. We were very polite to each other. We would wait for each other to wake up, sneak out to the living room in the morning, and look at all the little presents my parents or Santa Claus had laid under the tree the night before in our stockings. And we would sit very quietly. We were allowed to take our stockings, and we would sit there on the floor, look through our stockings while we waited for our parents to come into the room. And when they came in, we would wait, open one present at a time. We would look at the labels. This one's for Crystal. This one's for Nikki. And we would open them up very slowly, and we would try to see if we could get the biggest piece of wrapping paper as possible. And we made separate piles for our wrapping. We had the Crystal pile, and we had the Nikki pile. And after we were done with our presents, we would put our separate piles under the tree, and Santa Claus would come back for them that night. And we'd wake up in the morning, and they would be gone. And looking back, I know my mom was very creative in teaching us to reduce waste and how to recycle, as well as saving money in her budget as well. But as a kid, I felt really special. Because not only did Santa Claus know where to find me each Christmas, he knew my name, he remembered my sister's name, and he knew which packaging was ours. And he saved a special place in his sled and a special place, like in some, I don't know, maybe a storage shed or somewhere at the North Pole to put our special boxes. And every year he remembered us. And I think sometimes it wasn't just the presents that excited us, it was also seeing, did we get the same, like the reindeer, the cat with the cute little hat on, or maybe the snowman bag every year. It was exciting to see the same things coming back year after year. Santa Claus remembered us. And now as I'm older, my sister and I laugh about things like this. And I don't know if you remember the Montgomery Ward's boxes from the 80s that had the green lid and the little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It was their logo, and he had the bright red nose. We swear my mom still has these tucked away in the basement, and they probably have at least an inch worth of tape on each corner. But it meant that she loved us, and now we've started these new traditions of picking on my mom in these old bags that she has saved up. And I mean, many of the traditions have gone away. We ran out of the reindeer food. A lot of the boxes and bags were thrown away. They fell apart over the years. But those memories really still bring a smile to my face, and I'm just as happy now as I was 25 years ago whenever I was little and living through those moments at the time. And over the next month or even over the year, I encourage you to think about those moments that you've spent with your family and your friends and those special memories that bring a smile to your face and kind of that hope as we kind of keep trudging through kind of the bad news and this pandemic. And at some point, at least we still have hope and memories to keep us going. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fawaz. You know, Toastmasters, and especially Nikki, I really appreciated your speech. It evoked happiness in me. So you managed with your storytelling skills to really not only show us how happy your childhood was, or these two beautiful stories that you shared was, but you managed to let happiness kind of transcend in us. I felt it completely. I also appreciated very much today, in today's speech, especially your gesturing, uh, especially when you were throwing the oats and the glitter and over the roof. So you made gestures using your hands and your face to really describe, and it came nicely with your storytelling. So that was very well done, Nikki, nicely done. Uh, the one thing that I thought you could consider doing if you were, let's say, to do this speech again, is to add a bit more vocal variety. That was really, it's minor, but I felt that maybe sometimes when you were discussing how the reindeer may be on the roof, maybe you could have raised the volume a bit to just give the bit of nuance of the story. So, that was really the only thing that I saw that you could possibly consider next time you do, your speech. Things else that I really appreciated was the way you described what your mom had done, really with these elaborate details, whether it was Christmas Eve or the day after, with the way you opened the presents, what you said as you were describing opening these presents, again with your gestures, it really showed just how brilliant you are as a storyteller. I was there at your home, really with you, kind of opening those presents. Truly, I felt a lot of emotions, moved and inspired by your expert storytelling. And the only last thing, which really isn't a recommendation, it's more I'm intrigued. When you learned that Santa wasn't real and that the reindeer don't actually, didn't actually eat those carrots, like, did you have a letdown? I feel what I appreciated was that you you hung on to the beautiful memories that these days gave to you, but the like learning that it wasn't real didn't dampen it. So I guess I appreciate it more so. So thank you again for a beautiful speech, just lovely, and I really admire and kudos to your mom for what she has taught you and what you have shared with us.